So the main topic today is going to be surrounding around smart home technologies and home automation, home Wi-Fi, the tech in your house. When we get into smart home technologies, it's a very broad swath that it covers. So there's your televisions, there's your speakers, there's your pet feeders, there's sprinklers, there's all kinds of
you name it
stuff that's available that falls under what a lot of people would consider the smart home field or area. Okay. Now, as far as smart goes, it gets thrown on a lot, right?
Well, there's apps for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are apps for everything. We have a Nest garage door opener that it's cool because I can see if my garage door opener is open from anywhere
in the world.
Yep. Like when I'm driving up, when I come to a stop sign, I load up my app, and then as I get a block away, I hit open and the garage door's open.
There you go.
I don't even need a button
or if somebody's coming to drop something off at your house or whatever that's big, you can just open the door for them or whatever, Or if it always happens with Tammy and I, we're leaving the house. Did you shut the garage door? I don't know. Did you? I don't know.
Check the app,
and if
it'll tell you.
If you didn't, boop, close, and you're good. But it also can be a way to let you know when your kids get home and all that kind of stuff from school, if that's how
great way of spying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Smart does get thrown around a lot. And with smart technologies, a lot of times in the business world, the word smart in front of whatever you're selling sells for more money, right?
Typically,
Typically means it's going to be worth more money. It's going to have more features. It's going to do
more stuff.
Yep. And it's going to have an app associated with it, all kinds of stuff. As far as smart technology, what we're normally considered smart technology is self-monitoring, analysis, and reporting technology. Things that can do things on their own without your interaction is what I would think of as generally a smart technology. Things that not necessarily can think, but can operate or do a series of operations on their own with minimal input from you.
Yes.
But a lot of times people put the word smart on things that aren't necessarily like that. So when it comes to smart technology, there's a difference between smart technology and home automation. So home automation is what a lot of times people will call smart technologies. But
right, home automation is more involved with, like, you have, like, we set up company called Universal Remote Control, where we can put on a tablet your television system, your audio system, your garage door opener, your lights, and then you can control that from your phone. You can put it on a tablet. You can control it from anywhere again.
Yeah.
You can see your camera, that your Nest or whatever you have aiming on your front door.
Right from there.
And right from there and see it all.
Do you guys do blinds too? Or blinds can be put onto it, but it's not something you guys...
Yeah, that's not our forte. We're more in the audio video world.
Yeah, but it can all be worked into the same tablet.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So home automation, smart technologies. Just to run through a quick list of what I threw down. We got thermostats, garage door openers. Garage door openers, I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. We don't have one in our house. We've already talked about getting one. I'm like, I really should, but we see them all the time. It's a cool thing to have for sure. Door locks, where you're walking up to the house and the door automatically unlocks and stuff. Pet feeders, lights. Do you guys do the lights? Mm-hmm. You do the lights all on the same tablet and stuff when you're doing the speakers and stuff?
Yep, so you can set up scenes too, like in a theater room where you could hit a button and it'll dim the lights.
Yeah, that was one of the other things that we were going to talk about, NFC tags. So these little guys are things that Scenes is an app, I guess, right? Where you can set up automations and things like that to be automatically do things. So if you were to walk into a room and you scan the app, whatever, you can make your TV screen come down or lights go on. This is just a different option, but the tablet is the way that you can set up the scenes. You just push it on the tablet,
And it's all programmed to operate so the screen will come down, the lights will dim, and it's on a timer, like it's timed. You'd obviously want your screen to come down in time with your projector turning on and warming up. Your stereo system turns on, your lights dim.
So when it's all done, it's ready to roll.
Sit down and enjoy the movie.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, instead of having to do 15 remotes.
Well, the old school way was, turn on this, turn on this, turn on this.
That's what I got to do still, yeah.
Get in the now.
I know, right? I should. Jump in
Call
on
Flanners.
Call Flanners. Get on it, Matt. Yeah. Well, when you guys started, you guys were down in Brookfield.
Yeah, we've been in business over 100 years.
Yeah.
So we still have a store on Blue Mountain Road. In West Dallas.
Okay, yeah.
Inside the Kohler store in West Dallas, and then the one in Grafton, which is the one I'm at.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. And as far as Flanners go, you guys have done a lot of things over the course of that 100 years, though. There wasn't home automation back in 1920 or whatever,
Well, as I was telling my first day at work, I was testing tubes.
Yeah, like vacuum tubes.
It's come a long way in 43 years. Yeah. And it's just evolving over and over, like it's never ending.
Constantly new stuff.
And not always getting easier either. They make it seem like it's easier, but as someone who sells the product, it sometimes gets harder.
Yeah.
Like learning it and learning how to use it and learning the proper way to use it, because there's the right way and there's the wrong way.
Yeah. Have you seen the owner's manual for each of those little
I don't
things?
know.
It's insane.
I look at the app.
Yeah, look at the app and just work through it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the smart technologies and the things that have gone on with that, lots of times they still have a lot of overlap and things like that. We were talking about radio signals and stuff. Like if it's if everything broadcasts on 2.4 gigahertz, well, you're going to have confusing signals and there's going to be glitches and things like that. Where if you have a greater difference between what each thing broadcasts and whatever, it probably would be smoother. But they're only allowed to use what is it
5G and 2G, something like that.
Something like that. And I mean, I think that's not necessarily set up by the individual technology. It's set up by the arena. So the FCC.
Well, and more products are being Wi-Fi based, so we can't stress enough to get the strongest Wi-Fi you can afford in your house and full coverage. Yeah. Not just one modem and router. We need it everywhere in the house.
Using extenders and stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to get into that stuff later.
And there's, again, the right way and the wrong way to do that.
Yeah, there is for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have up at our cabin, we have Wi-Fi in the house, but we could never get it outside we have a 40 by 60 pole building up there. And so we never could get it out there. And so then I was like, well, let's get some extenders. So we basically piggybacked a bunch of extenders and got it out to the garage. Yeah. And so now we could watch TV in the garage. We could do whatever. We could listen to music out there and have all kinds of fun stuff. Smart technologies lots of times can also get into sprinkler systems, air purifiers, home humidification systems, lots and lots of different stuff. Scenes, most smartphones have scenes on them, right? You can set up home automation things on your phone in scenes.
Yes.
For iPhones and Android and stuff.
Tablets.
Yep, tablets and all that kind of stuff. You just have to go into probably a search for it. It's usually going to look like a little house with a bunch of lines in the middle of it. What's the most common control system you guys are using?
We saw a company called Universal Remote Control. It's for us the easiest one to use because it's pretty reliable. Like we don't have to do service calls. Once we get it set up properly the first time, it's done. And it's simple to use too. We train it, we install it and set it up per each client. So everybody's different. Every system is different. There's no two the same. Sure. So we just set it up the way the client needs it. Like you hit a button on the remote, it says turn on TV, turn on stereo. And the cool part is you don't have to aim it. You just like I have mine sitting on the floor and I literally hit down and push a button.
As long as you're in the Wi-Fi bubble.
Yeah.
Right?
Or RF, the radio frequency for turning on the products and stuff.
Sure. And now, as far as the tablet that like Dave's talking about, basically I was doing an inspection. I go into a model home. I forget who the company was that was doing it, Halen or something like that. And I go in there and the lady's like, here's the tablet to control all the lights and stuff. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, don't see this very often, But yeah, it was very intuitive, very easy to work through and stuff like that. But you can control all the lights, the speakers, the TVs, all that kind of stuff, all from this little tablet that was just sitting on the counter.
There is a learning curve.
Yeah,
a little
bit. But once you were into the thing, it was TV 1, TV 2, TV 3, or whatever, and they hadn't labeled them or anything. I'm assuming you could probably.
Yeah, because that's how we program it, how the people want it, because we can set it up individually.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell people too, don't overthink it.
Or do try to,
because we are in a very complicated industry. It's not simple what we do. It's not like 30 years ago where you bought a television, you hooked up to an antenna, and like when I was a kid, I was the remote control. Yeah, I had to go up and change the channels and change the volume,
or hold bunny ears and put your arm up over here
stand
with
there with
foil,
aluminum foil on my head.
We still had that. Yeah, I grew up in that day and age, man. Yeah, I mean, we weren't getting internet until I was in college.
Yeah,
I wonder what that must have been like.
Yeah, how did we survive?
Yeah, how did you live without cell phones and tablets and all this stuff? Yeah.
So a lot of people come in and they overthink it. I'm like, it can be simple if you want it to be simple. We can make it that way.
Yeah. Oh, and it kind of depends on how much you have built into it too. Right?
True.
Are you guys doing much with Bluetooth stuff or not really?
Not necessarily. No, mostly Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, easy and everything works on it and stuff. Bluetooth has much more limited range too.
And Wi-Fi too. The problem we have is if you live out in the country. Not easy Wi-Fi out in the country.
True.
In the city, it's fine because you get 500 meg gig, whatever speed you're getting off your provider, but out in the country can be tough.
Yeah, especially if you're on satellite internet and whatnot else.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys ever integrate like thermostats and all that kind of jazz?
We can. It can be like Nest thermostats or something that we've worked with in the past, and
just
Google
put
Homes.
the app on the tablet and running.
Today.
Yeah, we use a Nest thermostat up at our cabin, and it's pretty sweet because you can we can turn it on when we're going up there. Hey, we want 68 degrees when we arrive,
Yeah.
Boop, and before we leave Green Bay, before we're gonna lose the good signal, we turn the temperature up to whatever we're desiring, and we show up and it's there. The Nest thermostat, Ecobee thermostat, some of these things are really more of the smart type technology because
that's considered smart technology.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Because when we're not there, if we forget to change the temperature and they don't detect any movement, it automatically adjusts itself down to a what's called eco mode to save money on it, or if there's problems in the system, it sends us alerts and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of does things on its own without us interacting with it at all. Mm-hmm. But it also is very easy to interact with, much like the tablets and things that you guys
Well, I picked up these switches at Christmas time where I plug my Christmas lights in outside. Sure. And in the house, and there's an app on my phone, and I set it up on the app with a timer, and the lights turn on and off. Yeah. 4 they turn on, 11 they turn off.
That's awesome.
That's my favorite thing of being able to use that.
Yeah, and even from work, I could turn lights on and off and mess with my wife while she's sitting there.
You can set scenes on those as well. You can change them to music. So.
And all it was a little cube. You know,
just plug the cord into it. Yeah, download the app. You're
done.
Good to go.
Yeah, that's considered smart.
That is. I mean, as far as the extent of smart technology, I think we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, totally.
You know, I mean, and it's only going to get more complicated, I think, but we got to try to keep it realistic and user friendly when we're improving this stuff. You can't figure out how to use it, it's not going to do you any good. You know, if it's a pain in the butt to try to work through the app and do all these other things, and you got to sign up for this, and you're going to get all these alerts and all that, you're not going to want to do it.
But it is getting better. Like in our world, 20 years ago, you had to have an amplifier. You had to have a wall plate to go up to and touch what you wanted to listen to. Yep. Change the volume on it. You had to go all this sequence of things you had to do. Now I can set you up with a company called Sonos is one of our best-selling products. It's a streaming music device. Yeah. So you download an app on your phone, and I can pick whatever music I want to hear. Like I have an amplifier, Sonos amp in my basement hooked up to outdoor speakers.
Sure.
I could literally go home and sit on my deck tonight, get out my Sonos app and play. I want to play this outside. Done. Nothing, cool. No buttons to turn on, no switches, no volume controls. We go into some old houses where they still have that big wall plate on there where you the intercom
rooms, the intercom. But they had tuners in them and stuff, and you could play music through them and
tiny little speakers. They sounded
everybody's
like crap.
Always curious. Does that thing work? You know, and I'm
like record players that drop out of the wall.
Yeah,
my dad's house still has that in Tulsa.
Yeah,
it still has it.
Still has it in there. Speakers are still in the wall.
Does it work?
It doesn't work anymore, but when we first moved in there, it worked.
Showpiece.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very
nostalgia.
Cool. Yeah. Yes, that is cool.
Do you guys do like in-wall speaker systems, I'm assuming, and stuff like that?
Yep, in-wall, in-ceiling, conceal them. The cool part now is the grills are magnetic. They're not those snap-on ones, so they just pop on and off real simple.
You can break little plastic pieces and
bingo.
Stuff.
Yeah, you can paint them. Just don't overpaint them because otherwise you don't hear anything coming out of it.
You're limiting the sound coming out of it and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah. What's your guys' work area? How far do you guys go?
We did a job. The furthest one we did was up in Sister Bay.
Really? So all up in Door County?
Yeah, and then we've done some Illinois work.
Yeah, so somebody goes up and does all the planning, and then you guys send the crew up there with all... That's you. You do all the planning, and then send the guys up with all the stuff.
I mean, he didn't just buy a 32-inch TV.
No, that's not...
We're not going to deliver a 32-inch TV up to Sister Bay, but it was a pretty big system, and it was a past customer of ours. He had a cabin up there. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So when you guys... If somebody were to come in the showroom... when we're talking about Flanners audio, you're talking about mainly in the showroom is going to be audio and television equipment, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, we have a showroom with Sony, LG, Samsung TVs. We carry audio systems, Marantz speakers we have throughout the store, Sonos throughout the store. So when you come in, we could show you all the products that we have, and then I typically schedule like an in-home consultation where I'll come out to your house and we'll design a system for you.
Yeah, so you guys, like an architect would design a house and design where the wires go and where all the stuff is, and
whatever your budget is, we can fit within your budget.
Yeah. Well, and the coolest thing about what Flanners does is all the wires, they're not going to have a bunch of wires hanging all over
You won't
the
see
place.
wires.
Yeah.
I hate wires.
They're all going to be concealed, and you're not going to see that kind of stuff, which is cool,
Except in the utility room where nobody goes because we dump everything in there.
Where you put
we keep it clean, of course.
Yeah, well, not like the phone industry. We always laugh when we go into the basement of houses and stuff where they have hard lines and stuff. There'll be just this rat nest of wires with cable TV and phone all intermittent. And one of the guys that I was looking at the house for it, I was like, yeah, this rat nest of wires here. And the guy who actually was in the phone industry, he goes, dude, that's job security. I'm like, what? Job security? He's like, yeah, because then nobody else can figure it out except for me. No. Nobody knows what that white wire is, that red wire is, and they're just all jumbled together, They don't know that they don't do anything.
Yeah, they're just there for show.
They're just there for show. They're extra wires, But, job security. And I'm like, dude, really? So
in our world, too, that's actually getting to be the case because it's getting less and less where just the general consumer can do it.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's getting harder for the general public to understand what's going on.
But when I see homeowner installed jobs, it's not clean. and it doesn't look nice. You
Yeah,
know?
I've ran into
yes,
that.
they can still go to the store and buy a lot of the same stuff you guys can.
Yes.
But it's the whole installation that makes.
Well, the setup is key too. Like you could mount a TV on a wall; it's not difficult to do, but to get it set up properly so it really produces a good picture, good sound.
Yep. Not have to use 15 remote controls, all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Right.
it makes a difference.
It
you
does.
know? And it's not that you guys are talking about a ton of money, but it's
No, it doesn't have to be.
The making the interaction with you and your technology in your home easier. It's always a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Keep it simple.
worth an investment. You know, I mean, to not have the headache when everybody's there to watch the Packer game and you can't get the Packer game started, okay, isn't what you want to go through. But when Flanners sets it up, it's push buttons on the tablet and boom.
You know, there's a Brewer game on today.
What?
Yeah,
Already?
First place
Spring
today.
training.
Yeah, first game.
Nice.
I thought the pitchers and catchers were just there still.
They were just there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they actually play today at 2:00
Holy cow.
against the
Are you
Dodgers.
guys
That's
seeing more Bluetooth speakers now for surround sound, or is it still all wired?
Mostly Wi-Fi. Yeah,
Wi-Fi?
mostly Wi-Fi. There's still the Bluetooth piece where you can, but then you have to have music on your phone or have to have the capability of having Wi-Fi so you can stream it from your device to the device. Mostly Wi-Fi systems, not as much Bluetooth.
Well, and the Wi-Fi, you can stretch out the whole house. Bluetooth, you're going to be, 15 feet,
Yeah, it has limitations.
20 feet?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even if you have a big house, you could Wi-Fi extenders and all that kind of stuff. As long as it's set up properly,
Yes.
you know, those systems can
They work.
great. Yeah.
Well, they do it. There again is limitations because we did a house. I'll never forget this where we had Wi-Fi in one room and we couldn't get it in the other. Literally couldn't get it. And in between there was a closet, and the closet had a giant steel gun cabinet in it, and that just swamped the Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
we literally had to do
Metal.
a hardwire underneath to get it to that other room.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
When you basically piggyback all those Wi-Fi signals off of each other, you don't really lose strength at all.
Not with a good system. You can with
If you use
junky
inferior
ones. Inferior products, you
yeah.
get inferior results.
Yep. But when you link them together, the ability to, as long as the bubble touches the other bubble,
Yes.
not just barely, but a little by.
See, you and me are on the same page because I always call it a bubble because that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a bubble. So if I can get this bubble to hit this bubble, now that bubble is that much bigger.
So in this picture here, you see a house and you can see all those Wi-Fi bubbles need to interact with each other, and then you can transfer the Wi-Fi signal, even though it's only on one side of the house, all the way over to the garage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if your house is big, you might have 5 of these bubbles, you know, as
And
long
not-
as the bubbles interact with each other.
Not just across. I mean, it's a round bubble, not just a this way bubble.
Yeah. So up the second floor,
Yep.
third floor. This is the Wi-Fi extender out of our hallway. We would put it on the wall like that normally. And,
So they do need power.
Yep, you gotta have power to it.
Yep.
So you gotta put it near an outlet of some kind. But basically, because Tammy was getting not good internet signal up in her far corner of the house over here, I put this in there, and I just had to figure out what the distance was that my router was putting out.
Yep.
So that I made sure this bubble was touching that bubble, and next thing you know, Tammy had good internet or better internet. You know.
And we try to stress too, like a new construction, if you can put the hub in the middle of the house, the modem, the central part,
You know how much sense that makes?
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I try to talk. We were out I was doing a consultation out at a brand new build over in Aaron, and the guy, the plumber was there, and the HVAC guy was there, and the insulating guy was there, and I'm like, why is the furnace all the way on this side of the house? You have a 4,000 square foot house, and you're gonna try to duct hot air all the way over through cold ductwork all the way over to the other side of the house. Why did you guys not put this thing in the middle? Well, there's stuff in the middle. I'm like, yeah,
your
this
stuff.
is the stuff that should have been in the middle, you know,
Right.
And so what they ended up doing was actually adding a secondary furnace, but this is their
But now
4,000 square feet in air, and they're in a different price point, you know.
Yes.
But still, I'm like, it would make so much more sense to put the water heater in the middle of the house, put the furnace in the middle of the house.
Yep.
You know, put your Wi-Fi in the middle of the house. Have all that stuff tapped to the middle, and then you just have to branch out from there. All your branches are going to be shorter. You're going to have faster hot water. You're going to have faster heat. You have more consistent heat and more consistent internet and Wi-Fi and all that kind of jazz.
Think of that when you're building.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell your builder that.
Absolutely. Now, as far as Wi-Fi goes, generally what we're talking about with Wi-Fi is speeds from 100 to 500 megabytes per second, and that's a download speed. Upload speeds of 10 to 25 megabytes per second is pretty good for just about anything.
It's actually up to a gig now.
Is it up to a gig you can get now? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to do a speed test on what your current internet is, you can go to Google. You can type in speed test. You go to Spectrum. Spectrum has a speed test. And you can find out what your upload and download speeds are. And if you're, thinking that your internet is slow, the closer you are to that 100 or 0, or the closer you are to that 10, instead of being on the other side of it, you may want to look at increasing your internet speed, or maybe you have to get a better router, or maybe you have to get a better modem. There's options out there to up that, and like he said, up to a gig now. That's pretty crazy. Here in our house, we're at about that 400 megabytes per second on our.
It's not like old Wired when you loaded up a picture and you watched it.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be able
Don't nobody go on the phone.
Yeah, make and you can still be on AT&T or like with a DSL system. You can be on like we were talking about out in the country, can be a little bit difficult with Wi-Fi and stuff.
Satellite
you can be on
dish.
satellite. Yeah. I mean HughesNet, and there's lots of different options out there as far as satellite goes. Not the greatest of speeds in DSL or satellite, but your fastest is probably almost always going to be cable internet.
Better than nothing.
Yeah,
because we can't live without it.
It can't. Well, I don't know how we'd operate without it. I mean,
Not anymore.
Dustin's young. We were talking about the internet, and he's like,
Do you remember
"How
AOL
did you
though?
guys
and
live
dial-up?
without the internet?"
Getting yelled at to get
like,
off the phone.
get
off
off
the
the
internet.
phone.
I need to make a phone call.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm on
Playing
the internet.
Sims. Sorry.
yeah. I went through high school without internet, man. It was. Yeah, I mean, we had typewriter class
Say
still.
typewriter.
We had a library too. We went to for information.
Well, libraries are still they're being used. Like Tammy's at her school where she teaches, they still have like a multimedia room, and it's just changed significantly. Do they still have books? Yeah, but not as many.
Everything's on tablets now. All
Yeah.
my kids have
Yeah.
tablets.
They
Like
read
a
off their tablet or their
card-
phone.
6 years old.
Card catalog. Do you know what a card catalog?
I do. I remember that you pull them out and you have to go through them. Yeah.
I confess, I still get the paper every morning
Do you?
Yeah.
because
I
I,
like the
love that
paper.
hand.
That's a nostalgia.
It really is. Yeah.
Cut out a recipe, cut out a sports article.
I'm surprised that they're still sending them out
Yeah.
with how much it's changed. But
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Well, and with the newspapers, they're doing the print, but they're also doing the online
Digital stuff,
It's
yeah.
it's all about advertising, and where you get the ads from and stuff. But Journal Sentinel still holding on, But I think it's ultimately going to come down to just a couple of your big papers like the New York Times and some of these other ones, USA Today and that kind of stuff, depending on if Journal can hold out.
I mean, magazines I really don't get anymore, but
Yeah.
I used to get Sports Illustrated every week. But
Yeah, we
now I have ESPN.
Yeah, I get Golf Magazine, The Helpful Handyman, and This Old House.
Yeah.
Are the only ones that I really get anymore. But we used to get a couple like People. People I heard is stopping production. Like they're not going to be producing.
No more People?
No more People magazine. No more People. Yeah. But yeah. Now as far as the technology in your home goes, extending your Wi-Fi, you guys, that we just were talking briefly about. But if you don't have a good signal to begin with, you're not gonna. It's not gonna.
You can't make it better.
You can't make it better.
No.
But by having a good extender, you can basically transfer the exact same speeds that you're having at your main router out to your extended
Throughout the
areas.
house.
Throughout the house and even outside. You
Yes.
can get on your patio and stuff.
Well, like you were saying, you have the house, and then if I have a garage over here, I can put an extender here, and I can put one here, and as long as they connect,
Yeah.
I now have it out here.
Yep.
How
Yeah.
complicated is it for just any DIYer to install one of those and connect to their system?
Literally, again, and there's an app, and then you plug it in, and you follow the instructions on the app. It connects to your hardwired Wi-Fi, and away you go.
Otherwise, they just call Flanners.
Bingo.
Flanners.
Ding,
There you
ding,
go.
ding.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. So this is just a really big, massive old router.
It's a monster.
And this is a Wi-Fi extender. Usually, what they'll have you do is they'll have you start them next to each other like that, and then you would leave. This would be where it's going to stay, and this you would go and put out to your location, and you would test your speed. And as long as you're getting the good speed, that's the same as this, you're in that bubble. There's not like a sensor that can tell you how far your bubble goes out,
Correct.
But they'll generally give you a distance as what's reasonable to expect out of this piece of technology. And you don't want to have the bubbles barely touching. You want to have the bubbles interacting by
Right.
a good 5
They need to connect good,
feet.
strong.
Yeah. That as that signal buffers a little bit, you're not going to lose signal and stuff.
And the company that we carry literally will tell you when you put this piece out there, it'll say whether it's good or not. Like, nope, you need to move it. It's not right.
Oh, okay. So it'll tell you get closer. You're not getting good enough signal from there. Yeah, and that's all built into the app.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
very
setup.
cool. Very cool. As far as internet speeds go, you guys, Wi-Fi is great, But if you want speed, you got to be hardwired.
Got to be hardwired.
Got to be hardwired. Yeah, getting an
stress that
i3
enough.
cable and stuff, or a fiber cable. That's
Cat
where
6,
you're gonna get your
Cat
fat,
7, whatever they're up to now.
Whatever it's up to. Yeah, I mean you got just so much faster speed when you're talking about hardwired versus Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi is still not bad.
And if you're building, wire is cheap.
Yeah.
Do it during construction.
Yeah.
Have the electrician or us pull Cat 5 everywhere.
Yeah, if you're building, you can. It's really easy to access all the walls and stuff like that. Just a matter of drilling a couple of holes and running things through. Lots of times, builders will let you come in the process and put your own wires in if you want.
I helped my father-in-law do that in his new house. He's a big IT guy, and we ran all of it,
Everywhere.
all of his rooms, everywhere.
Yeah, very cool. But yeah, hardwired, there is no faster internet as far as that goes. And then as far as Wi-Fi and security goes, they usually have built-in password stuff, and as long as your Wi-Fi password is reasonable, I guess that's the best.
Don't use your name.
Don't use your name. Don't use the word password. Should not be the password.
Password 123.
Yep. You ultimately want to make sure that you're just using a good password. That's really all you can do. I mean, there's all kinds of hackers out there, and if somebody wants to get in, they're going to get in. It's not there's limitations to what you can do.
Yeah.
And still exist. If you're hardwired everything, you're not using any Wi-Fi signal at all, then hey, then you're good. But I don't know how today you could operate your home reasonably without the Wi-Fi signal running through your house.
I've heard of people like that, but
You don't see them very often, But I mean, just on your phone, making your phone work better in your house and stuff, making your phone calls go smoother, and having the internet without having to use all your minutes on your plan.
the one thing we're finding out too is a lot of people are streaming like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and then they'll hook an antenna up to their TV for local channels.
Oh,
we do at home.
Like,
we don't have cable. We use YouTube TV.
like an
Or
HD
YouTube
antenna.
TV Plus. Yeah, it's another good one for locals.
Yep. That is some home technology for you guys. Little techs and tips and all kinds of fun stuff there. If you have any questions or anything like that, go to our website, helpfulhomeinspector.com. You can put those in there. We'll make sure to get those answered for you. But hopefully you got a little bit out of that segment. Dave, thanks for coming out today, man.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Dave's got to go open up the store and be ready for all the customers that are going to be
That are watching today.
They're going to watching today. They're going to flood the store with people.
I better get there on time.
Yeah. But really appreciate it, man. If you guys are looking for a best router,
We carry a company called Eero, EERO.
is that what you use?
Yeah, they're the most efficient that we've come across.
They're newer too.
Yeah.
They're
really nice.
There's always the standby like Linksys and some of these other brands that have been around for a long time. But some of those newer technology like Eero and there's a couple of other good ones out there that really are taking the industry by storm because they're not only their price point, but their functionality is much higher. These guys they've been kind of stuck in the mold.
Well, like the Euro app, you can literally turn off a zone. So if your kid's misbehaving, sorry, no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I need to get that.
Yeah. And while you could do that with a Linksys system, it's hard. It's their interaction and operating system is much more difficult to operate. Not as nearly as user friendly as some of the new stuff coming out. So very cool. Well, thank you very much, sir, for coming out. Appreciate it. And if you need anything from Flanners Audio and Home Entertainment, they have their Grafton store. They also have their West Dallas store. We have their information up on the website. You can get a hold of them via a phone call or stopping by. Do they? Nobody really contacts you via email or anything, right?
Yeah, we have. You can email me. We have our website, flanners.com. You can go to our website and see everything that we carry. Then you can call us or email us from there as well. We have a chat on the website, so you can chat with us as well.
Well, thanks for coming out today. Appreciate you. Why don't you head out and go get that store open, and we'll
the flood of customers.
Exactly. We'll get this video up on Monday and podcast and stuff up. So yeah, it should be cool. Well,
appreciate you having me over.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you much.
Have a good one.
Yep.
You guys, I really appreciate you tuning in today. If you haven't been checking out our videos, you go to our YouTube page, Helpful Home Inspector, and you can find us out on YouTube. You also can link us up to us on Facebook. We have our website out there, helpfulhomeinspector.com, with lots of good suggestions for contractors and things like that. Lots of good tips and tricks to help you better maintain and take care of your home. Lots of good stuff in there. Also, if you have any questions that you would like to get us to answer on a Saturday morning show, you can put those questions in on our website. And when you put those questions in, we'll make sure to get on those the next Saturday so we can talk about those with everybody and bring the knowledge to them. Lots of great stuff on there. Also, our podcast goes up on every Monday where you can hear the podcast of the show and re-listen to us. But anywhere you get your podcast stuff, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Alexa, whatever it may be, you can go out there and you can get the Helpful Home Inspector. iHeartRadio is probably the one I use the most often, but lots of good stuff out there, you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the Helpful Home Inspector. Remember, you guys, better you take care of your house, better it's going to take care of you. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.